Stephan Rauhut is too young to have experienced the mass exodus of Germans from Eastern territories, but he developed a longing for what was Silesia after hearing his grandmother's tales of her former homeland. The topic was taboo during Rauhut's school days in the former communist East Germany. Then came the fall of the wall.
When I moved to Bonn, I was able to find literature on the issue. I read the bulletins published by the associations, and I was able to read about the history and the culture, something I wasn't allowed to do earlier, something we weren't supposed to talk about. I soaked it up like a sponge.
Rauhut turned to the Association of Silesian Expellees in Bonn to help in the search for his family's roots. Now he's their chairman. He says the organization has given him insight into his family's former homeland and the experience of expulsion.
I tried to get on the Wilhelm Gustloff in the port of Gotenhafen, but the officers wouldn't let anyone else on board. There were already 10,000 refugees on the ship. It was totally overcrowded. We had to find another ship. It was a minesweeper accompanying the Gustloff. When we were at sea, we heard that the Gustloff was sinking and we should keep an eye out for survivors. We pulled them out of the icy water.
More than 15 million Germans were expelled from Eastern territories after World War II. They lost almost everything. Many saw themselves as victims of the war that, admittedly, was started by Germany. More than 60 years later, their stories are to be told in a documentation center set up in Berlin by the German government. It's dedicated to the Expellees, but also to the act of reconciliation. The Federation of Expellees came up with the idea of the center. The Dreher family in Berlin also have their roots in territory which was allocated to Poland after World War II.
Here is the book containing recipes from Western Prussia, which I helped to publish. I look at it because it has recipes for things from the old country I sometimes want to cook for my husband.
The Drehers regularly visit the region of Poland they still see as West Prussia.
These 3 pictures show my brother and me in the entrance to the house we would have inherited according to German law. We were expropriated by a Polish law in 1946 with no compensation.
They have been active members of the Federation of Expellees for decades. They say they were unjustly treated and want their story to be kept alive.
How long the Federation will remain in its current size is very questionable. It probably won't exist in this form in 100 years' time. So it's necessary to create a documentation center.
But how much influence should the Federation of Expellees and the various regional associations have on the planned center? The center is also to represent reconciliation with Poland. But Expellees groups questioned the German post-war border as late as the mid-1990s, with lasting consequences. Because the Federation's president, Erika Steinbach, voted against recognizing the German-Polish border, she isn't on the board of the Documentation Center. But other association members will be.
People have told me they can live with the solution that's been found. They say they would have preferred having me on the board. That's repeated a lot, and I see it as a compliment. But now I have to explain why the solution we have found is a good one.
Association members in Bonn see the decision not to appoint Steinbach as a setback. They're worried that the Federation could be forced off the board of the Documentation Center in the long term.
We have to remind people. The older people who experienced it are dying out. We are the ones who have an interest. But I don't know what's going to happen when we are no longer there.
They fear that the memory of their past will no longer be upheld without the Federation. They see themselves as the rightful upholders of these memories.
We want to safeguard the idea of Silesia, of Eastern Germany, of these 700 years of cultural history in Europe, which is part of German cultural history. And we want to include this in society and present ourselves in a relaxed and self-confident manner.
That's not how many people in Germany see the Federation, and that's why they don't want this episode of history left solely in the hands of organized members like Stephan Rauhut and the associations of Expellees.